Hello, 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 hello. Wherever you are, vivacious people on our scintillating planet called Earth, wherever you are this day, evening, night, I wish you well. Welcome to my discussion of FAA here in the United States. It's called Federal Aviation Administration. I believe I'm wrong, somebody quote me. But most of it is called FAA here in the United States. Every country got their particular airspace governing body. Here in the United States, we short term it FAA. So I'm going on to FAA Part 107, 60 item, 3 multiple choice drone test. But the good thing, good people, my little drone test not going to take no several hours like some tests I've seen on those videos. I have a series of tests. Hopefully there'll be like 30 items each, like 2 questions on a test, so it should be by total I maybe have 30 of them. I'm on an FAA test, 2 sample items on a test that I made. If you want to get I have 4 tests that I've made, 4 tests. I used Google Forms. I collected the information from all over the internet. I made 4 tests, and the thing I like about the test is whenever you take a test over again, it's always in a random order. So it's not a static test, it's a dynamic test. I'll give you information at the end of the video for you to obtain the test. I've already passed the FAA test. I passed it 3 months ago. I studied internet content. I studied internet videos, and I bought FAA material from the website Udemy for $14.99. I didn't have to spend $200 on a 4-hour course that crammed it in. I studied on my own pace, my own time, and that's how I passed the test with a decent score. Not poor, not excellent, right in the middle. So I do have some knowledge of it. So let's get into my little 2 sample questions now. My first thing come directly from my sample test, and it'll be on the FAA. Like the questions that I saw in my sample test, they may be worded different. Yeah, it may be worded slightly different, but the core meaning will be on that test. So you got to master the core meaning. Whatever source you study, it's not going to be the exact same question. They may change the wording, but you got to know the core meaning of it. All right, who? A person, so we know it's a person. Who is responsible? Let me change my penthouse to a who is responsible. So it's asking who. Can I write? Okay, good. Let me give it to that. Who? So it's a person. Is directly responsible for and is the final authority. Who the big chief? Who the big boss? As to the operation of the small small unmanned aircraft system. Who's responsible? First choice, is it RPC, which means remote pilot. Let me write that. Remote RPC means remote, for the new people, remote pilot and in command. That's what RPC means. Man. R P I and C. Or is it not? You have to know the role of the remote pilot and command. The remote pilot and command, I'm gonna go over it in a few minutes. Or is it the visual observer? Visual observer. Now this giving you an idea who's in command. The visual observer, here's the word visual. Visual means you're just watching. Do the visual person watching have final authority? Nope, so I know that's wrong. I'm using the process of it, I'm just using common sense. And the next one is Federal Aviation Administration. That's the government. Basically, the FAA is the government. So, using simple common sense. Visual observer, the word visual doesn't mean you watching. If you're just watching, who you giving? Is that the final authority? I'm just looking at it. If I'm just watching it, am I even operating it? Because I'm just watching. It's just visual. I'm not even operating nothing. See right here? Final authority, visual. Is the visual person who's just watching the final authority? Does the visual person operate anything? Federal aviation. Federal. Big giant government. Big giant government. I just underline the word federal. If it's the big government, it's the government right there with you holding the drone in your hand. It said who? One person. Who mean one. Who mean one. Federal mean many. You know federal government, many. So I crossed this out, and the final answer is just remote pilot command. You see, I just use common sense. A lot of the stuff on the test is just common sense. I use common sense. Now let me go down, because I did my internet research. I said when I passed, I did internet research. It said the remote pilot and command. What's his job? The remote pilot and command. The remote pilot and command is directly responsible. Up here has final authority. Directly responsible and final authority go hand in hand. For and is the oh my God, here it is right here. I can stop right there. I don't gotta read no more. Final authority as to the operation of the small unmanned. Oh, it basically said the whole thing right here. It got the same definition. The same definition that the same phrase I read above is contained right here. So, like I said, good people. So, study those tests. Even if you take my sample test, if you need to know, because you're not nobody there watching you. My test is not time. You forgot the actual FAA test. It is time. You can't take no 3 hours on it. But on a sample test, when you're taking the convenience of your home, you can take out your time on my test or the internet test if you want to, but you can't take no 3 hours on that FAA test. Here, I use parts of elimination. I did my research, so it is this. Alright, let's go down to my next statement. Let's see if we can find the next one. Again, I think that's a common sense question too. Common sense. Here we go again. Now, according to 14 CRF Part 48, when must a person register? That's the main word. Register a small unmanned aircraft with the Federal Aviation Administration. When? Let me see if I want to see if I want to check something out real quick. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did it right. Aviation. Federal Aviation Administration. Yeah. When must I register it? So we have our choices right here. Again, it's common sense. All civilian small unmanned air systems weighing greater or equal to 5,500 of a pound must be registered regardless of its intended use. The next one. When the small unmanned air system is used for any purpose other than as a model aircraft. That don't make any sense, so I can cross that out. I'm just saying when the small unmanned air system is used for any purpose other than a model aircraft. That don't make no sense to me, so I can cross that out. Only when the operator will be paid for commercial service. Now hold up. Only, well, that can get a little peep right there. Only when the commercial for paid service. Okay, that's a tricky one right there, because that's a tricky one. Paid mean you getting money. So you got two choices now. But let's say only when the operator will pay for commercial service. We have recreational flyers and we have commercial flyers. Recreational flyers, that's fly for the fun. So according to this, you would have to register for commercial use. That's a tricky one right there. So for me, people, I go see, like I'm saying, while you're still learning, you go to the internet, type the question in, and see what the internet says, because that's a tricky one. Because this third one is true to a point. The third one is true to a point. According to, here we go, that rule, so I know I'm on track. According to 14 CRF Part 48, when must a person register a small unmanned aircraft with the Federal Aviation Administration? Well, here we go. How I answer. All civilian small unmanned air systems weighing. Okay, that's the point. Okay. It's talking about weight here. So I can cross this one out now, because it don't say nothing about weight. So only one is this. I'm going to finish reading it. All civilian small unmanned air systems weighing greater than, here we go, 55 hundredths of a pound, or about a little over half a pound, must be registered regardless of its intended use. So I don't care. You can use it for flying in your backyard. You can be at the local park flying it, or you can be doing real estate work, construction work with your drone. You can be making a movie with your drone, etc. But if it weighs half a pound, a little over half a pound, you gotta register it, no matter what. So that's the answer. All civilian small aircraft weighing greater than or equal to 0.55 pounds must be registered regardless of its intended use. So that's it, my good people. Come back for my next little sample. I'll probably make that in a couple days. I hope you got a little bit of insight on how to be successful in passing the here in the United States, the FAA drone test. Like I told you all, for me, as you all see what I did, I just didn't watch videos. I actually did internet research, like you saw I did here, to get those particular answers to things that troubled me a little bit. So I hope this helped you out. I hope this gives you some insight and test taking strategies, good people. Till the next time.